Hey guys, so in my last video I did a review of the Gerber Gator Pro machete, and today I'm going to be doing a review of the Gerber just straight edge machete. This is also something that I've had for a while, probably over 2 years now, and you know, it's seen some use and just figured I'd do a video and tell you what I thought about it. So, where to start? It comes in a very nice protective sheath as usual. However, with this one, it did come with a belt loop, so you could hold this on your belt, but after using this for a while, this did eventually tear off, you know, just a piece of nylon. No big deal. I really didn't have it on my belt side that much anyway. Opening it up, Velcro securing strap for the handle there. As you can see, yes, this has seen some use. Start, does feel very good in the hand. It's a very good fit. You do also have a bit of a finger protection there. I'm not sure what the proper name for that is, please excuse me. Has the wrist strap, which I'm a big fan of. Again, I think it's definitely some added protection. As for the actual blade, it tapers larger towards the tip. I think it's a really good design just the way it is. Let's see, on the back side here there is somewhat of a saw if you want to cut through some small branches. I've used this quite a lot. It's starting to get dull, and one of these days I'm going to have to take out my my small fine files, and I'm going to have to resharpen that, which is no big deal, because just like anything, it gets dull over time. And yeah, unlike the Gerber Gator Pro, this straight edge Gerber machete does not include any type of sharpening stone, so thankfully I have that. I also do have some other sharpening stones too, but you know, just so you're aware, when this starts to get dull, you're going to have to find some way to make it not dull or sharpen it. And yeah, so I'm going to take my grinding stone from my Gerber Gator Pro and I'm going to put an edge back on this blade, and we'll take this out, and when we go out and test this, I'm also going to talk about some of the reasons I like this and I don't like this. You know, just to start, it's a little more dangerous because you have this big straight edge, and it's very easy for it to catch on something and curb the momentum, and you can very easily take off a limb of yourself. So you know, it's just something to be aware of, and you need to be as safe as possible. So let's get this thing sharp and we'll get outside. As for the grind on this thing, there is an equal grind going towards the center on each side. It's not like it's just grind down on one side. I'm not sure what exactly the angle is, but just so you're aware. When I'm sharpening with the sharpening stone, I like to put a little bit of pressure, not too much, and just do little circles. If your arm starts to get tired, you should stop immediately, because as soon as you start to get fatigued and you do one miss circle, you can very easily catch your finger and open up your finger up. So just be careful with that. You want to try and do a nice grind on each side, or polish, whatever you want to call it, sharpen. I'm not a lefty, so this is a little more uncomfortable, as you can tell. I'd say that's pretty good for our intended purposes. So here we are again in the same clearing area where I did my review of the Gerber Gator Pro. Now, we have the straight edge Gerber machete, which I don't like as much as the Gerber Gator Pro, but we're going to do a video on it anyway. We already did the beginning of the video, now let's get to testing. So to start, of course, I'm going to put my wrist strap on, and you'll see what kind of performance it has. I feel like it definitely doesn't give you nearly as much control as the Gerber Gator would because of that hook, but it also does have its purpose. So let's move over here. Got some brush over here. Now again, this is definitely a lot more dangerous in my opinion than the Gerber Gator Pro, because you have a sharp edge right here, and you do also have this this kind of saw side as well. So if you do get a glancing blow, there is a much higher likelihood of you doing some type of cut or damage to yourself. So just be very careful with that. Whenever possible, try to cut away from you. Be very careful when you're going down, because it's very likely that there could be a vine or a twig that could catch on the edge of your blade, and you can very easily come close to cutting off your leg. So it is a great tool, but it's also probably 14 inches of blade, so it's very dangerous as well. So it needs to be treated with respect. And that's my safety spiel. So let's see. Going through this lighter stuff, like little, it's probably about this. Let me cut off a piece. See the size of this stuff? Probably about, half the size of my finger or so. It does go through this stuff pretty easily. When you're using this type of machete, it's a lot easier if you go in on an angle. That's interesting. See if you can hear that. It's not my bone that's clicking. I feel like it has a loose handle. Now there are 2 adjustment screws right there, which like Allen head. So that is going to need to be tightened. So stand by 1 second. I'm going to go and tighten that up. It should be tight, but let's go get that fixed. Alright, so I'm back and I've tightened up this handle. It doesn't have that click anymore. And it's a lot tighter, so that's just something to watch out for. Not sure how I really feel about that, but that's just something you should watch out for. So, where were we? We were talking about how well this cuts through something about half the size of my finger. This is green wood. It definitely cuts through green wood a lot easier than it would as opposed to drier wood or harder wood. And it definitely cuts a lot easier when you go on maybe a 45-degree angle, as opposed to if you go straight, you're not doing anything. That's just kind of dangerous. So cuts through pretty good. Let's see if you can see me here. Still see me? It is clearing this stuff out. There's a lot of dead stuff at the bottom here, which is kind of just breaking right through. It's not that it works bad. It does work pretty good cutting through this stuff. It's just definitely a lot more dangerous swinging this thing around than the Gator, the Gerber Gator Pro with the hook on there. Let's try chopping through this. Not too bad. I think that was 3 or 4 strikes. Let's try out the sawing feature of this. Survival situation, you definitely could get by. It's not the fastest. It is kind of dull, but it will cut through. I want to say it'll cut up to about 3 inches, kind of. I'd say it could cut up to something around 3 inches in about under a minute. And that's probably about the limitations on that. You probably could cut through thicker stuff, but that's kind of what I'd recommend something like that for. Let's do something kind of crazy. Let's start to test the limitations of this thing. Probably about 3 or 4 inches. Let's see if we can cut through this. First, I'm going to cut off this higher branch. You can't really see because it's kind of in the way. Let's go. So that did pretty damn good. You needed to split the end of a log. Definitely could do that too. Look at that. You need to put some type of rock or homemade weapon through there. Could do that. I think we'll leave that there.